What do you think the fans love about it the most?
Me.
Yeah. And why is that?
Because I'm a great guy.
Run off with the amateurs, Barry.
What is the most common misconception of you from the show that fans may have of you that you would like to, that you want to tell them?
Well, I would say that, most people, when other people are out and people realize that they know me, they go, is Dave really such a big a-hole in real life? And no, I am not.
The auctioneer's gavel fell with a decisive crack, but this time, it wasn't Dave Hester calling out his signature yup. It was a sound that silenced a courtroom as rumors began to swirl across social media and entertainment news outlets. Storage Wars starred Dave Hester facing life behind bars, the mogul's final bid, prison, and perhaps most alarming, goodbye forever, Hester sentenced to life. For over a decade, Dave Hester had been one of reality television's most recognizable villains. As the black-hatted antagonist of A&E's hit show Storage Wars, Hester built his brand on being the man viewers love to hate. His aggressive bidding style, confrontational personality, and trademark yup catchphrase made him a standout character in a show that turned the mundane world of storage unit auctions into must-see TV. Then, suddenly, strange headlines began appearing online. Concerned fans flooded social media with questions, while others took to Hester's account seeking confirmation or denial. The claims spread rapidly across platforms where algorithms reward engagement without regard for accuracy. I was shocked when I first saw those headlines, said longtime Storage Wars fan Michael Rodriguez. Dave was always the bad boy of the show, but actual criminal charges? That seemed extreme even for him. I've followed his career since the early days of the show, and while he's definitely rubbed people the wrong way, the idea that he could be going to prison for life seemed impossible. The rumors appeared to have originated from a perfect storm of factors. Hester's previous legal battles with A&E, his temporary absence from social media during a business expansion, and a completely unrelated court case involving someone with a similar name in Orange County, California, where Hester's business was based. Add in the internet's tendency to amplify sensational claims, and suddenly a man known for bidding on abandoned storage lockers was being discussed as if he were facing decades behind bars. It's fascinating how these rumors develop and spread, explained Dr. Melissa Chen, a media studies professor who researches misinformation in entertainment news. People see a headline that seems shocking but vaguely plausible given what they know about a celebrity, and they share it without verifying. With someone like Hester, who cultivated a confrontational persona, it's easier for people to believe he might have crossed a legal line. The reality of Dave Hester's situation couldn't have been further from the alarming headlines. Far from facing legal troubles, the auctioneer and businessman was actually in the midst of expanding his legitimate business operations. After years of legal battles with A&E, including a wrongful termination lawsuit in which he claimed the show was staged, Hester had returned to his roots in the auction business while developing new ventures. Dave was completely blindsided by these rumors, said a business associate who requested anonymity. He's had his share of legal fights over the years, but they've been civil cases about contracts and business disputes, not criminal matters. When we showed him what people were saying online, he couldn't believe how a completely unrelated case had somehow become attached to his name. Hester himself finally responded with his characteristic directness, posting on social media, "Still here, still bidding, still saying yup, don't believe everything you read online. The only sentence I'm facing is having to explain to people that I'm not going to prison." But the question remains, how did a reality TV personality become the subject of rumors about a life sentence? The answer reveals much about our current media ecosystem and the blurry line between reality television personas and actual reality. Reality TV creates a particular kind of celebrity, noted Chen. Viewers feel they know these people because they've seen them in supposedly unscripted situations. But what they're really seeing is a highly edited version of a person who is often playing up certain aspects of their personality for the camera. When that person becomes associated with conflict and confrontation, as Hester did, audiences are more willing to believe negative stories about them. The court case that appears to have been confused with Hester's situation involved a man with a similar name who was convicted of serious financial crimes in Orange County. Through a game of internet telephone, this unrelated case somehow became attached to the Storage Wars star, creating a completely fictional narrative that nonetheless spread widely. It's like that children's game where you whisper something to one person, and by the time it reaches the end of the line, the message is completely different, explained Chen. Except now that line circles the globe in seconds, and the final garbled message can damage real people's reputations and businesses. For Hester's colleagues and legitimate news sources, the rumors were not just annoying, but potentially damaging to his auction business and personal brand. Several former Storage Wars cast members, despite their on-screen conflicts with Hester, took to social media to debunk the claims. Dave and I had our differences on the show, but spreading false information about someone facing prison time is just wrong, wrote Daryl Sheets, known to fans as the Gambler. The guy might be a pain to bid against, but he's not a criminal. Barry Weiss, the eccentric collector known as the Collector on early seasons of the show, was more colorful in his defense. Unless being annoying at auctions has become a felony, Dave isn't going anywhere. And if it has, I might be his cellmate. The Hester situation highlights a troubling aspect of modern celebrity. The public often feels entitled to believe the worst about reality TV personalities, especially those cast as villains. And when information is unclear, speculation fills the void with the most dramatic possibilities. There's this sense that if someone has played a bad guy on reality TV, they must be a bad person in real life, said Chen. But that's not how these shows work. Editors and producers craft narratives and assign roles to cast members. The villain on screen might be the nicest person when the cameras stop rolling. Hester himself had always been relatively open about the constructed nature of reality television. After leaving Storage Wars, he spoke candidly about how certain aspects of the show were manipulated for entertainment value, allegations that formed the basis of his lawsuit against A&E. That openness about the industry may have inadvertently contributed to the rumor mill when he stepped back from public life to focus on his business expansion. When someone has pulled back the curtain on how reality TV works, their credibility is sometimes questioned, Chen explained. People might think, he said the show was fake, so maybe his denials are fake too. It creates this environment where truth becomes subjective. The life sentence rumor also reveals something about how we view reality TV stars after their time in the spotlight fades. When these personalities step away from the shows that made them famous, audiences often lose track of them and become susceptible to believing dramatic narratives about their current situations. There's a certain "where are they now" curiosity about former reality stars, said entertainment journalist Rebecca Martinez. When they're not regularly on our screens anymore, it's easier to believe they might have fallen on hard times or gotten into trouble. It's a narrative we've seen play out with enough former celebrities that it feels plausible, even when it's completely false. For the record, Dave Hester has never been sentenced to life imprisonment. He has never served time in prison at all. His temporary absence from social media stemmed from an intensive focus on his auction business and consulting work, not legal troubles or criminal charges. The real story of a businessman continuing to work in his field of expertise after his reality TV career is less sensational than a fictional court case, but it's the truth. And in an era of rampant misinformation, truth matters. I think what bothers me most about these rumors is that they distract from the legitimate issues in the storage auction business, said a colleague of Hester's. Dave has been an advocate for more transparency in auctions, for better business practices. That's the story people should care about, not some made-up legal trouble. Hester's story also highlights the often hidden toll of false rumors on their subjects. While he responded publicly with his characteristic bluntness, those close to him say the experience was unsettling. He's developed pretty thick skin from being the show's villain, said a friend. But it's still disturbing to have people thinking you're going to prison when you've done nothing wrong. And having to deal with concerned calls from family members who've seen these rumors isn't just annoying, it affects your business relationships too. As for Hester's current projects, those close to him report that he's focused on growing his auction business and consulting with companies on inventory liquidation, the expertise that got him cast on Storage Wars in the first place. He occasionally appears at special auction events where his celebrity status helps draw crowds, but his primary focus has returned to the business he knew before television made him famous. Dave isn't interested in chasing more reality TV fame, said a business associate. He's interested in running a successful business and sharing his actual expertise with people who can benefit from it. The TV show was a chapter in his life, not the whole book. The bizarre life sentence rumor may have finally run its course, but it leaves behind important questions about how we treat reality TV personalities. Do we respect the line between their on-screen personas and their real lives? Do we accept that reality television is a constructed form of entertainment, not a documentary? Do we verify information before spreading it, especially when it could damage someone's reputation and livelihood? I think there's a lesson here for all of us, reflected Chen. Before you share that shocking headline about someone you watched on TV, ask yourself, is this verified? Is this coming from a legitimate news source? Would I want people spreading rumors about me based on a character I played? For now, the real Dave Hester continues his work in the auction business, undeterred by internet rumors. He's not facing a life sentence in prison. He's facing the same challenges as any other small business owner in a competitive industry. The auction business has always been about separating valuable items from worthless ones, Hester said in a recent interview, obliquely referencing the rumors. I guess the same thing applies to information these days. Some of it's valuable, and some of it belongs in the trash. And for fans of storage wars and auction enthusiasts, that's the best possible ending to this strange chapter in the Hester story. Not goodbye forever, but rather, still here, still working, still occasionally saying "Yuppie" when the price is right. Because if Dave Hester has proven anything over his career, it's that he's a survivor who knows how to adapt to changing circumstances. Whether that's fluctuations in the auction market, the evolving landscape of reality television, or the challenges of navigating fame in the age of social media misinformation. In the auction business, you learn to recognize value where others miss it, Hester said recently. And you learn to ignore distractions that keep you from focusing on what matters. These rumors were just noise. The real value is in the work I do every day. As the dust settles on this bizarre episode, Hester's focus remains where it has always been, on his business, not on internet drama. His auctions continue, his consulting work expands, and his reputation among those who actually know him remains intact. When asked by a reporter if he had a message for those who spread or believed the rumors about his supposed legal troubles, Hester's response was characteristically direct yet thoughtful. I spent years on TV with people watching me bid on other people's abandoned stuff. It's ironic that now people are bidding on stories about me that were abandoned by the truth. I'm still here, still working, and not going anywhere, except maybe to the next auction. For a man who built his fame on the high-stakes world of storage auctions, that commitment to his real business over reality TV drama might be his most authentic move yet. Not the villain of Storage Wars, but Dave Hester himself, still calling out "Yup" when he sees something of value, and still walking away from the worthless distractions.